Coming up next, we have Chase the Dream Hooper taking on Jordan the Monkey King Leavitt. Jordan Leavitt is 11-2 in his mixed martial arts career and is 4-2 in the UFC, while Chase Hooper has a similar UFC record at 4-3, but is 12-3-1, even though he is a few years, only 4 years younger than Jordan Leavitt. So, Rick, as soon as this fight came out, we were sending this fight to each other and talking about it as we found out that it was happening. I still can't believe they're getting this matchup. I feel like Chase the Dream Hooper is going to be an interesting one with Jordan Leavitt's style. And it really is like, it's not the clash of styles. It's the clash of the same styles going up against each other, where you're not going to see a ton of strengths with these guys on the feet. Although it is clear that Chase is starting to improve his game with striking. That's been seen as he moved up to lightweight. He was previously a 6'1" featherweight, and now he's a 6'1" lightweight at 155 pounds. That move for him happened this year. The other thing, too, is he's started to train with Upstate Karate. And so that's Stephen Thompson and his dad. World class. I mean, world class when it comes to striking. So he's learning from some of the best. And I'm glad that he did that for his game, because he was so one-dimensional that anybody who could match what he was doing on the ground was going to obliterate him on the feet. And we saw him actually throw some strikes in his last fight and piece together some combos, which was impressive. Impressive by his standards, I'll say. Another funny anecdote for me is that Jordan Leavitt won his last fight by flying knee. So I guess anything is possible with striking for these guys, right? This is going to be an all-out brawl on who can be the most creative on the mat, I think. And I just feel like because of the Paddy Pimblett effect that Jordan Leavitt is facing, the boring nature of this fight for the casual fight fan, and then paired with all the hype that's surrounded Chase Hooper ever since he came into the MMA community, ever since he came into the UFC, I just feel like the Monkey King is being a little undervalued in this spot. Rick, do you feel the same way about that with Leavitt?
I do and I don't. I think that Chase Hooper should be the favorite. Whether it should be a 2-1 favorite, I'm not really sure. But I do want to announce the latest UFC addition to the roster, Draymond Green. While you were talking, there was a video footage of him getting ejected tonight, putting Rudy Gobert into a rear naked choke while on the court. So I want to officially invite him to the UFC roster as a heavyweight, because there's no way he's making weight at 205. Anyways, to stop from derailing the show, I do think that Hooper should be the favorite, and I think that his size is going to play a big factor here. As you mentioned, he went up to 155 and is continuing to grow into that gigantic frame. Now, the striking of Leavitt is going to be better than Hooper's, I think, which is a weird statement to make. He has a little bit of power behind it, and Hooper doesn't move his head at all. He's got virtually no striking defense. So while it is improving, his striking is, until it shows noticeable steps of improvement, I don't favor him on the feet against really anybody. His hands go low. He doesn't move the head. He could just get pieced up. And Jordan Leavitt, I mean, as you said, he has 2 knockouts in his career. One is a slam in 2019, and his infamous slam on the head of a guy 22 seconds in, which epic as all hell. I mean, go look it up.
If you haven't seen that, it's on the UFC socials right now.
Look up his
slam.
Go check it. It's scary a little bit because he drops him on his head, but impressive nonetheless. And the other one was that knee. So, and Leavitt after the fight was like laughing. He was like, my team never would have thought I would have ever gotten a knockout. I didn't even think I could. So, like, my point being is that Leavitt is not by any means going to knock him out on the feet. But on the ground, it'll be interesting because Leavitt has always been position over submission. And I know you talked about that early in the card and a little bit now. While he can land a lot of those submissions, he's not going to give up or put himself at risk throughout the time. And we saw that in the Paddy fight as well. And I really think that while Hooper is long, while he might be able to cinch up maybe a triangle or an arm bar with those long legs, I think that Leavitt could be safer here. Try to keep the fight on the feet, damage him on the feet. And if it goes to the ground, well, you're probably safe in top control. And I think that he's a smart fighter like that. He's a very cerebral fighter. And so I've got this. I do lean Leavitt. I don't know if it should be. I don't know how tight the odds should be, but I lean Leavitt at where the odds are currently. And I'll pick Leavitt to win the fight. But really, my bet comes down to fight not going the distance. I think that both of these fighters are continuing to make big leaps in their game and looking to make a statement. And I think that one of these guys is going to be able to, in the transitions, in the scrambles on the mat, be able to find a submission and finish the fight. or if it stays on the feet, either Chase Hooper just continues to get jabbed to death to where he's bleeding everywhere and falls down or whatever. But I think the fight doesn't go to the cards, and that's minus 110 for 1 unit. And my pick is Leavitt, but Andy?
Yes. So I'm going Leavitt on the money line. I'm going Leavitt on the money line for a full unit, which I got on BetMGM at plus 185. I just think that where Hooper is skilled, Leavitt is equally as talented. And with more creative ways of finishing people on Leavitt's resume, I love that threat for him. I think that he offers up against Chase, where this feels like yet another gatekeeper fight for Hooper. It's like you have to get past this level in order to actually get some more elite names to be added to your resume, because this is a fight where you've got two guys, for how low they are in the lightweight rankings, a lot of MMA fans know who both these dudes are. And this is just one of them. For as soon as these guys win this fight, you'll start to see them get some more notable names. And I think that Chase has improved his game, but he's not yet there, which is unfortunate to say. I mean, he was drawn a tough hand where he's cursed, right? He's got 4-3 record in the UFC. He was the UFC's youngest fighter at a certain point. He will get there someday, I hope. I'm a big Chase Hooper guy. I'm a big Chase Hooper fan, but not today. The odds are way too good on Leavitt. Give me Leavitt on the money line, plus 185 for 1 unit. Rick has the fight not to go to the distance at minus 110 for a unit, and he's also picking Leavitt in this fight. We have 2 more fights in this card. We will next be previewing Jake Matthews taking on Michael Morales. Stay tuned.